Hello, students. This experiment is about Millikan's oil drop experiment as well as Avogadro's number. So hopefully that'll all work out. But we're going to start off by pulling down the video for Millikan's oil droplet experiment. And just make sure you bring it into video analysis like we've been doing. It's in which folder? It's in the folder. It's in your folder for Millikan's oil drop experiment. So I just want to look at this a little bit, make sure that I have the right one. Yeah, it's about two minutes long. There's another one that's shorter. You could try to utilize it if you like. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and set my origin and scale. And so if you look at this, I'm just going to double tap and slide in. There is a bright light here. This is actually a focusing wire. And you'll see basically a grid in the back. So we have grid lines, and our grid lines go from the length, let me just say, from this major reticle to this major reticle line, it's going to be 0.5 millimeters. So you could tell that they're major reticle lines because they're darker than the minor reticle lines, okay? So just go ahead and put that anywhere you like, and that will be sufficient. How you doing there, Robert?
I'm doing good.
And we want to make sure that we set our pixel rod here between one major reticle line and another major reticle line. And let's go ahead and just double tap here. We're going to call this 0.0005 meters, because we start off with 0.5 millimeters, and so we just want to move our decimal place back. So that's what I'm doing as far as setting the origin and scale. You guys make sure you take a snapshot of that. Okay, you want to upload that. And now we're going to set some points. I am going to play this, and it would be nice if I could just get... So you see how I took that thimble out? If I go back, not thimble, but that focusing wire, if I just frame forward a little bit, it's just a wire. And I'm just pushing it out, pulling it out. So let me go ahead and go forward a little bit. So you'll see oil droplets in here, rise and fall. What I want to do is I want to pick an oil droplet that's going to rise and fall pretty slowly. And I see one, and I wish I didn't have as many oil droplets in here, but I do. And so I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and try to track this oil droplet right here. I want to go back a little bit. And I want to use the tracking function of the program. So let me go back. And I'm just going to try to get some real good data. And a student taught me how to track this pretty good. And he just said, start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to pull this over. And there's a tracking feature right here in the lower left-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and select on that. And I'm going to track that. So it stopped. Let me see if I can track it again. Sometimes it starts to jump everywhere. You see how it jumped and it picked up another oil droplet? Look, I might need to just let it track that oil droplet. Shoot. Now, this may not be too consistent, but I can at least try to track it. Okay, so I'll just keep playing with this oil droplet. I need it to go up and down. Right now it's going down. So hopefully it will go back up and not too fast. So now I'm actually controlling the track function and then the stop track function. See, it stopped on its own, but I'm just pushing. And I'm going to stop it, track, stop tracking, track, stop tracking. Oh, it stopped it on its own. I keep tracking it. So you may have to play around with this a little bit. So you see how it's tracking it back up? Stop tracking. This is beautiful. My students are awesome. At least for 5 weeks. Oh, see, it's jumping everywhere. So now I need to just stop tracking. All of these other points on the side, I don't need them. And so I'm going to get rid of them. I know, I don't need them. And we can justify why we don't need them. I can go and look at the data set. And here's the data set. So we're tracking, it's rising, and then it's falling, and then it's rising. And the slopes look they look parallel. So we can actually go for this if we want to, or we can go back and probably try to track that point more. But you know what? I'm good. If you can make it go up and down a whole bunch of times, that's fine. Preferably, we would like to have this done twice. So make sure you share this video with points in your Dropbox. But now I'm just going to go ahead and go to data file. Excuse me. And I'm going to take these points over. I'm very excited about this tracking feature. You guys may not hear the enthusiasm in my voice, but oh my goodness. Very excited. So here's the line that we want. This is the data set that we want. We have all these other data sets. We have X and velocities, but we don't want all of those. Only thing we want is the Y. Is it the Y velocity? No, it's the Y. It's this one. And let's just have one graph here. And let's format it. If you guys can see this. Let's go ahead and format this or change its appearance to just points. It may not be a real big feature there. So now I'm just going to select right here. Okay, that's too big, so let me delete that. Select right here and then drag over. So it's not quite behaving, but that's okay. I'm just going to do a curve fit. We can always fix this. And let me see, make sure. Then do another curve fit for this one, and we want to drag this one all the way over to this location. And let me make sure I have the right set. Okay, and we want to drag this back to this location. All right, so that'll do. And then let's do another one right here. So basically we're going to have two rises and one fall. And we have our equation for our line here. So the primary thing that we're concerned with is this slope. The rise velocity for the first one is 1.606 e negative 4. The rise velocity for the second one is 1.579 e negative 4. I mean, they're essentially the same, but we're going to put those in and we're going to take the average. And then our fall velocity happens to be a negative 4.040 e negative 5. So let's just go ahead and take those over. But before we do that, we want to take a snapshot because I want you guys to upload that as well. This is your analysis, or not your analysis, but your data collection of the oil drop. We're doing some science here. This is awesome.